Hello everyone and welcome to the Art of Creation show. I'm your host, Rebecca Boswell, and as we have in the past and as we will in the future, we look at how choice creates, and different possibilities for creating a life and a living that can actually work for you, whatever that is. It might not be the same for you as for me, but having awareness, being able to see what is, being able to see what we'd like to change, and then choosing those things every day that facilitate that change creates our reality. So how does it get any better than that? So if you are new to the Art of Creation show, we invite you to go back. We have all of the previous seasons. They are archived on the YouTube channel, the Art of Creation show. And if you are watching on Facebook Live right now, if you go up to the sign up button at the top of the page and you click there, it will take you to the YouTube channel so you can see all of the goodies that we have there. And you can even subscribe and click on the little notification bell so that you can see future episodes. So starting next week, we will be back to having guests. But this week, I wanted to talk with you guys one-to-one. And so anybody who is watching live, please feel free to pop your comments into the comment thread. If you have any input, if there's anything that you'd like to contribute to the conversation or questions that you have, whether it's for me or just in general questions that have you wondering, you can pop those into the comments too. And I will be watching those as we go and incorporating them so you can co-create this episode. How does it get any better than that? So today's topic. Oh, and for those of you who maybe are new to me altogether, I do invite you to go to my website. That's www.rebeccaboswell.com. The link will be in the show notes on YouTube. And check it out, check me out, see what you think. And of course, all of the past episodes, you're welcome to get to know me there too, as well as my guests. So today's episode is entitled, Stopping Doesn't Get You There Faster. So, or does it? So it's kind of an interesting topic. Okay, stopping doesn't get you there faster. What is that? And I wanted to start with this. It could be that you're not even really sure what you'd like to create in 2019, right? It's a new year. There's a lot of energy and buzz about starting fresh, and some people have, words that they are using as their guide for the year. Hi, Aurelia. Yes, totally. People are not always willing to receive. So how can we change that? And how can we bring that into the new year in what we're creating to create different possibilities and to outcreate any of the trauma and drama that other people are creating with the choices that they're making as part of their lives, their world, their reality. So some people have words that they're using as just little signposts, let's call them, to assist in guiding the choices that they're making through the course of the year. Of course, sometimes those words can shift and change, but that's one thing that people are choosing. Some people like to set an intention for the year. Some people are really into goal setting. I have this goal, I'm going to achieve it. But this episode is not going to be about achieving goals as much as looking at what is it that you would like to create in 2019. And if you have a sense of that already, have you already begun to create it? And if so, in what ways have you begun to create it? And are the things that you're choosing actually creating the thing that you think you're playing for? So sometimes when we have this sense of, okay, in 2019, I'm going to ... Hi, great to have you on. that, then we go into this thing of reverse engineering, right? Like, I want this, so therefore, what are all the steps to get from A to B? And then let me do that, and let me work really hard, and and regardless of what comes my way, I'm just gonna plow through, and I'm just gonna make it work. Well, how fun is that? And, how much do we then try to motivate ourselves to get over the hump, to keep pushing that rock up the hill like Sisyphus, right? You get right to the top and it starts rolling back down. What if we can shift that a little bit and look a little bit more at, okay, so what is it that we're playing for? What is it that we're actually asking to create here? I posted earlier in the week on the Facebook page for the Art of Creation show this great little graphic with two bunnies, and they both have a carrot that they've grown, right? And the one carrot has this teeny little sprout growing up out of the ground. And the other bunny has this huge stalk. It's just like billowing with greenness, and it's lush and huge and everything. But then you see underground, and there's an itty bitty little carrot with the huge stalk, and then there's this huge monster carrot with the itty bitty little stalk, right? So I love this example. Yeah, all the love to you, Frank. So I love this example because it really illustrates in some ways where we do this with creation, right? Like we say, I want to do X, Y, Z, right? And we're looking at this outcome of what we want to create, but we're kind of missing the forest for the trees, right? So we're really looking to create the carrot, right? This thing that's sustaining and sustainable and, nourishing and, has all of this possibility that it can contribute to our lives and all, this huge gift. But we get stuck and focused on what we think is going to get us that, which is the stalk, right? So we have the stalk and maybe we get a lot of kudos and people give us high fives, but we don't actually have the carrot. So you're not going and planting a carrot seed to have a beautiful stalk that everyone can see. You're actually planting the carrot seed to create this yummy, delicious, wonderful carrot. So where are we doing that in our lives? And where can we become more aware of it? And then ask, okay, so what's under this? What's under this? What's under this? Till we really get to what it is that we desire. And we can say in 2019 in our lives, whatever today, right? But whatever works for you in terms of having a little bit of a frame to continue choosing forward with. Okay, so this thing, right? Stopping doesn't get us there any faster. Well, what happens lots of times when we do perceive, right, that we are on track to actually creating, let's say, cultivating this amazing carrot, right? That we desire, whatever that carrot is for you in your life, and as we get to this place, or as we begin to enter that space of really being able to create it, all kinds of interesting stuff can come up, right? People can come into our lives that we then, look at and think, oh no, I can't anymore because of this person, or oh no, this person is judging me, or oh no, maybe I don't have the right qualifications, or oh no, maybe I'm not smart enough, or young enough, or old enough, or pretty enough, or tall enough, or wear the right clothes, or live in the right neighborhood, or have the right upbringing, or whatever it is that we decide that we need. It's like we get right up to where we're gonna have that that sense of ease, that sense of peace, that sense of flow, and we stop. And what does that create? it actually just kind of either creates more of what we had before, right? Or it could actually even create more upset or more unease, and sometimes even dis-ease in the body. When we then go into judgment about what we now are choosing or what we haven't chosen or what we're refusing to be, or maybe what we're not sure about in terms of how to keep progressing, or how to keep taking steps forward, or how to keep that awareness open without being bombarded with all the information. So I like the example of weight loss, okay, right? Like how often have you heard someone say like, oh, this year, right? 2019 is my year. Like I'm gonna lose 50 pounds this year. I'm gonna lose 10 pounds, or I'm gonna lose 5 pounds, or it doesn't even matter how much, but I'm gonna lose weight this year, right? And so then they start doing, things, right? Like they decide, okay, there's this checklist. I need to, only eat this many calories, right, a day. And hi, nice to see you, Jenny. And I have to work out this much, or I have to burn this many calories, and I have to stop this behavior. I have to add this behavior, all these things. This is my checklist, right? And then they're like, I just did this for 4 days and nothing's changing. And then what happens, right? Then what do they choose? Lots of times people just stop. They're like, oh, this doesn't work, forget it. And they stop, right? But more than that, what is it actually? It's actually quitting, right? But it's not quitting on the program. It's not quitting on really anything except for, anybody have any guesses? What's being quit right now? That's where we quit on ourselves, right? Because what's actually under that? It's usually, I can't, it's not worth it, I'm not worth it, right? It's not even possible, right? How many times are we like, you know what, I did these things and nothing changed, and so change isn't possible. So then we quit on ourselves, and then what? And then we're again back sitting in the muck that we were in before we had this idea, I'm gonna do all this stuff to change, right? So let's unpack that just a little bit, right? It's like, okay, so when we quit on ourselves, what is that? What do we have to believe is true when we go to this place of I can't, or when we go to this place of it's not possible, right? Or we go to this place of I tried, but it didn't do anything, so therefore, why bother, right? That feudalistic point of view. But what if instead of, again, that goal, like saying, I'm gonna do this and reverse engineer it all the way to I can get to there, what if we can actually right now, and so maybe there's something that you are looking to change right now. It could be something in a relationship. It could be something in your business. It could be something with your body. It could be something with your children. I mean, whatever it is. But if there's something that you've been looking to change, right? I would just invite you to tap into what that is and look at, can you actually become aware of what you've decided the value of that is? And what is actually, behind your choice for pursuing it? And is it something that is actually coherent, congruent, and in alignment with what you'd actually like to be in the world, what you're becoming, and what you'd like to create, right? So is it in line with the big stalk, right? Or is it in alignment with the big carrot? Because when we can start to tap into that, right, then every day just becomes a new day of new choices and new possibilities. And every day you get to choose whatever is congruent and in alignment with that greater ask, right? That greater that greater space that you are creating. So yes, exactly. So so whatever that is for you, it's not about stopping, right? It's actually about living. So when we say stopping doesn't get you there faster, right? It's like, oh, this isn't fast enough, so I'm going to stop. But it's like, wait, it's not fast enough, so I'm actually going to go as slow as possible and actually just stop to where I'm not creating anything. Doesn't make sense, okay? But it's not stopping doesn't get you there faster. It's actually living gets you there now. Because, hey, big alert and news PSA to everybody. Guess what? Now, right here, right now, is actually the space of creation and the space of true choice and the space where you can access exactly all the energies that you would like to use to create the coherent, congruent future that is actually possible. So it's the thing of, I'm not stopping, I'm actually gonna just keep living, and even when I stop, I'm still living. So why not just live in a way that continues to cultivate more of what you're asking for. So if it's like, oh, I'm not going to eat any more, green foods because they make me fat. Whatever. And you look at that. It's like, okay, so I'm going to do this. And then it doesn't change anything, but you've done it every day. I'm not saying, don't adjust and change and adapt. But if you can sense in to something that actually is going to work for you, something that actually has a lightness to it, something where you actually perceive the energy of you in it, and every day you take an inspired action that really harnesses that energy and allows you to continue on your path, then you can actually use time to your advantage, right? So in a metaphysical sense, we can say time is an illusion. And in this reality, we can also acknowledge where a lot of us, we participate in that illusion of time. And so instead of constantly being in a state of, I don't have enough of it, what if we could actually use it to our advantage, right? So if I make some choice today that is in alignment with what it is that I'd like to be, that I'm creating, and I'm actually beginning to create it today, right? And already be able to enjoy it today, then yes, you may not see a direct outcome or result in 3 days, 4 days, 5 days, maybe even 3 months. And yet, can you tap into how it actually feels in your body? Right? It's different than when you're in a state of quitting or stopping or resistance, because you're creating a flow that becomes a part of your everyday life and what you're being and who you're being and where you're being and when you're being, all of that. So, so stopping, I want to say one other little thing about that. Sometimes we take some space, right? Or we take some time, and sometimes we can take a little rest or a break, okay? And there's a difference. And so I had a conversation recently with someone, and we were talking about how when we are choosing, when we are creating, when we're getting to that place that we really begin to perceive is in alignment with that peace and flow, and then we go to that freak out and want to kind of get back down because we're not used to it. Maybe we are actually a little bit more used to when things don't work out the way we'd like, right? Or maybe we're a little used to what it feels like to have a sense of lack, or to be safe but kind of small. But when we start to get up there, right, and we start to teeter in that place where greater is possible. I was likening it to an expedition, right? So like, let's say you are going on an expedition to climb Everest, right? And as you climb higher, the air gets thinner, right? And at some point, you might think, oh my gosh, I can't breathe, I can't do this. It's too scary, it's too high. There are no trees up here. It's unfamiliar. I'm scared, right? Yeah. I mean, I know I've been there often, and it's not about not being there or getting to that place. It's like, okay, so then what do we choose, right? So this idea of stopping or quitting would be turning around and going back down the mountain. Okay. That's where you're like, I can't do it. It's not possible. Forget it. Who was I to even think that this would be possible for me? This is for the other people. All of those crazy things that we love to put in our brains to keep us from whatever comes beyond that. So when you climb Everest, though, you don't just wake up one day and climb to the tippy top. Right? You're going to actually go through a series of base camps. Okay? And so what do you do when you go to a base camp? You climb higher. Cool. You climb higher, and then when the air starts to get thin and it starts to be like, you don't climb back down. You actually hang out there for a little while, right? Maybe you hang out there for a few days. You let your lungs adjust. You begin to breathe easier. You give your body the information that you can do this, that you're not going to die, that it's okay. It's okay to be a little concerned about the unknown, and it's also okay to acknowledge that you are that you're able to adapt and to acclimate yourself to this new reality, right? This new thin air. So during that time, you might say, well, I stopped. But did you? Because you're actually still dynamically creating that which facilitates the next step forward, right? Your cells are adjusting, right? Your body's systems are adjusting. Your mind is adjusting. Everything is adjusting so that after a couple days, when you climb to the next base camp, where the air continues to get even thinner, right? Yeah, right? That you can do it. So you might say, well, I stopped for a minute, but that's where we check in. Did I stop? Did I quit? Or am I actually allowing every step that I've taken to this point to integrate into what I'm becoming next? And allow what I'm being right now to reorganize and readjust itself, so that when I take those next steps forward, right? When I take those next steps forward, that I have all of me, and that I am at my full power and potency and potential. Okay? So how many base camps are there in what we're creating? I don't know. Could be different. It's probably different for you than for me and for every creation that we are playing with. But the takeaway here is, where can you shine that light of awareness so that when things kind of go like this, or you feel like you're stopping, or you notice any of this internal languaging, or even languaging where you're expressing to other people outside of yourself, what are the beliefs under there? What are you thinking is true, right? And is that actually a catalyst for destroying everything that you've already created? Or are you actually using it as a catalyst to combust the next part of your adventure? So stopping doesn't get you there faster. So, instead, how about we live and be engaged in our living and be here now, right? And keep asking ourselves, what am I choosing today? And is it actually a match to what it is that I am desiring and creating in the future? Okay? So, any questions? Anything pop up for you guys? Anything else? Have I confused or befuddled anyone? And of course, if you're watching the replay, you're always welcome to put things in the comments and after the fact, and we can play with that either in future episodes or also just in the comment thread. So okay. My invitation to you is really just to tap into what is it that I'd like to create, right? In this year, in this week, in this day, right? Who am I being? Who am I being as I make the choices that I'm making? Are they a match to what I say that I'd like to create? And how about... Yeah, that's awesome. Let's do that. Let's have a Basecamp retreat. I would love that. Let's go do Everest too. How about how fun would that be? Okay, awesome. Oh, thank you, Frank. Okay, cool. Well, in that case, I guess we'll wrap it up for today. And so hopefully there's some gems and nuggets that you can pull out of here and something that you can start playing with right away, like now, like today. And as always, if there's anything in this episode or any upcoming episodes that you would like to tease out for you personally in your life, in your business, something that you'd really like to dive into deeper, certainly I'd love to play with you as a coach, and you can find the coaching information also on my website. So would love to play with you and dig a little bit deeper. So please subscribe to the YouTube channel if you like the episode today, if you like any of the other episodes. If you'd like to like the future episodes, please make sure to click on the little notification bell. And also, since a lot of the shows are recorded via Facebook Live, I would love for you to like this page and also turn on your notifications for this page so that when we do go live, you will get that notification and be able to come and participate with us and also co-create those episodes. So next week we have Trina Rice, and we have a juicy episode coming up for you that will also be Facebook Live, so mark it on your calendar. I believe it is 12 p.m. Central, but that will be in the show notes for you for sure. So that'll get posted to YouTube later this evening. So if there are no other questions, I adore you. I thank you for being here. Thank you for helping to kick off the first episode of season 5 of the Art of Creation show. And man, I wonder, what all will we discover next? Happy choosing, everyone, and we'll see you next week. Bye-bye.